Brain tumor. The word itself sends a chill down one's spine when we hear it in TV shows, movies, and conversations. There are 150 types of brain tumors happening in human beings. Not all brain tumors behave badly. There are a lot of brain tumors which are benign, meaning non-cancerous ones. Meningiomas are the most common benign intracranial tumor. I do a lot of meningioma surgeries every month. What's a meningioma? Why it happens? What's the treatment? Let's discuss in this video. Hello friends, welcome to DocLog's channel. I am Dr. Arun Naik, a doctor for 30 years and a neurosurgeon for 20 years now. Dialogue with your doctor is called a DocLog. In this channel, we have DocLogs related to brain and heart health, lifestyle diseases, cancer, spine health, preventive health, and much more. We also give here simple, effective tips and tricks to put you on the positive side of your health. Everything told in this video can be found in the description box below. Go check out if you need more info. Well, that said, let's get started. A benign tumor is non-cancerous and it won't generally invade nearby tissues or spread to other areas of the body. A benign tumor is less worrisome unless it is pressing onto nearby brain lobes, nerves, or blood vessels and causes damage. What is good news is benign tumors usually don't recur once removed, but if they do, it is usually in the same place. Meningiomas are commonest benign brain tumor we see in neurosurgical practice. They arise from one of the coverings of the brain called arachnoid. Although the majority of meningiomas are benign, these tumors can grow slowly over many years until they are very big. If left undiagnosed, it can be severely disabling and life-threatening. Some meningiomas may be more aggressive. Meningiomas can arise anywhere in the brain. In the brain, I mean actually a meningioma is outside the brain, but in some meningiomas, the brain will be covering them. We call meningiomas according to the location. Examples are cerebral convexity meningiomas, cavernous sinus meningiomas, cerebellopontine angle meningiomas, foramen magnum meningiomas, intraorbital meningiomas, intraventricular meningiomas, olfactory groove meningiomas, etc., depending upon their location. Actually, there are about 25 locations in the brain from where a meningioma can arise. What are the risk factors for developing a meningioma? The risk of meningioma increases with age, with the majority of patients are seen after the age of 50. Children aged 0 to 14 years are at the lowest age. African Americans have been observed to have higher rates of meningiomas. Exposure to ionizing radiation, especially high doses, has been linked with a higher incidence of intracranial tumors, particularly meningiomas. Dental X-rays are the most common form of exposure to ionizing radiation. A number of studies have shown patients who underwent full mouth dental radiographs in the past develop eventually meningioma. Some genetic disorder like neurofibromatosis type 2 or NF2 puts you at a risk of developing a meningioma. Studies have shown that ladies with a history of oral contraceptive pill develop meningioma later in life. So, meningioma is more common in women than men due to the influence of estrogen hormone. Furthermore, an association between obesity and meningioma occurrence is shown in some studies. Now, what are the symptoms of meningioma, friends? Because meningiomas commonly are very slow growing tumors and they grow about 1 millimeter every year. They often do not cause significant symptoms until they become large. Some meningiomas may remain asymptomatic for a patient's lifetime or to be detected when a patient has a brain scan for unrelated condition, like for example, an accident and a head injury. These are called incidental meningiomas and often require no interventions. Signs and symptoms depend on the size and location of the tumor. Commonest symptom is headache, occurring in the morning with associated vomiting. Many of my patients have seizures or convulsions. There may be hearing loss or ringing in the ear, limb weakness or paralysis, visual disorders like blindness, change in personality or behavior, etc. in some tumors. Symptoms can be related more specifically to the location of meningioma. Now coming to the diagnosis. When I see a patient coming to me with the suspicion of a brain tumor, I do a complete neurological examination to find out where the tumor is arising from. I may ask for a computed tomography CT or a CAT scan or an MRI scan. Best test for a meningioma is an MRI scan, which shows extensive details of the tumor, its extent, its blood supply, and other intricacies. Now, how to treat a meningioma? Surgery is a mainstay of meningioma treatment. Meningiomas are primarily benign tumors arising outside the brain, which offers the best chance for a cure if removed completely. We do a craniotomy surgery to gain access into the meningioma. The goal of surgery is to remove the meningioma completely, including that tail which attaches it to the coverings of the brain. This offers the best results of surgery, many times a cure of the disease. However, complete removal can sometimes be challenging and difficult, especially if the tumor invades blood vessels, nerves, or brain. Some meningiomas can reach to a huge size, and often we do preoperative embolization in the cath lab to obliterate the enormous blood supply in large tumors. In some patients, total removal of the tumor carries significant risk of neurological deficits, and I leave some part of the tumor in place and observe future growth with regular MRI scans. I have tens of such patients in whom I did not remove the tumor completely because of the difficult location, and they are all doing very well, some of them for decades now without any recurrence. Well, in small sized meningiomas, I don't do any surgery. I monitor them with yearly MRI scans and intervene only if the tumor grows big. Coming to radiation therapy. Radiation therapy uses high energy X-rays to kill the cancer cells and shrink meningiomas. Radiation therapy may be an option if the tumor cannot be treated effectively through surgery, especially if the meningioma turns to be of a higher grade on biopsy. Newer techniques of delivery like three-dimensional conformal radiotherapy called 3D CRT and intensity modulated radiotherapy called IMRT are also very safe radiotherapy protocols. Chemotherapy. Chemotherapy is very rarely used to treat meningioma except in atypical or malignant subtypes where surgery is risky. Now, what is the outcome in meningioma patients? If I am able to remove the meningioma completely, then it is almost curative for that patient. He or she need not have to undergo radiation or chemotherapy. Very rarely a meningioma can regrow, especially if the tumor is of high grade on biopsy and complete tumor removal is not done. I do scans every 2 years for 6 years and then once in 5 years. Sometimes no MRIs. So friends, now you know that a meningioma is a good tumor and can be cured if completely removed. Surgery is very safe these days and offers the best treatment modality. Only very malignant tumors can cause problems and complications. With that friends, we have come to the end of this short video. Thanks for watching. Hope you found this video helpful. Give me a big thumbs up if you liked it. Share this video with your near and dear ones to put them also on the positive side of their health. If you are new here, please consider subscribing to DocLogs. It will be my honor to have you in this ever-growing community of DocLogs. Hit that bell icon to get instant notifications of my new videos. If you have any doubts, questions or comments regarding meningiomas, brain tumor surgeries or any newer modality of treatment, share your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll try to put some light onto. I'll be back with another equally interesting DocLog very soon, friends. Till then, feel awesome, live awesome, and take good care of your health.